Uh, okay. So yeah, let's just wait. We're going to start at 2:05 on the dot, inshallah. So share, like invite more people to come. I know we've been sharing, but please enter their DMs and tell them it's starting now. You have to join so that we can all benefit from this session, inshallah. All right. Okay, we're going live now. Assalamu alaikum, everybody, again. Hello, welcome. I'm seeing that we have a really mixed audience today. Welcome, everybody. So today's session is being organized by NGM, and NGM is a mentoring community for Muslims, for undergrads, early early career workers to sort of come and how do I explain it? NGM is like a community that helps you with tools, resources, with the community itself to ensure that you achieve excellence basically in all aspects of your life. Uh, Today's session is the graduate school info session, and just going straight into it. This is what our agenda for today. Okay, so again, welcome everybody. I would suggest that you have your pen and paper or you open the notes app on your phone so that you can take a lot of notes from this session because I'm telling you that you would have to so that you don't miss anything out. So a short icebreaker. Let's just do something short before all our speakers, all our guests arrive and we begin, inshallah. So If you could live anywhere in the world for a year, where would you choose and why? So, to avoid it being too noisy, we can just leave a comment. Is it a network thing? I can't see any messages in the chat box. Can you guys hear me?
Loud and clear.
Yes, we
Yes,
can,
we
and there are
can.
messages in the
And there
chat
are
box already.
messages.
Okay, so I'm seeing the comments now. Let me try to read a bunch of them. I can see that some of our guests are already here. Welcome. Okay, so I'm seeing Dubai, I'm seeing UAE, I'm seeing Qatar, I'm seeing Germany, I'm seeing Miami, I'm seeing Saudi. A bunch of people want to go to Qatar. That's cool. Someone wants to go to US, Silicon Valley, Apple to be precise. Awesome. Okay, so next one. If you could instantly become an expert in any field, which field would you choose? If you could instantly become an expert, which field would you choose? Is it the path you're currently on? Is it something else? Okay, so someone is saying, let's see, I'm seeing AI, I'm seeing software engineering, I'm seeing the medical line, I'm seeing finance. I'm seeing law, aerospace engineering, project and infrastructure finance. Okay. Uh, economics and finance, AI. Okay. Next question. Let's see. What is the meaning? So today we're talking about graduate studies. What is the meaning of MBA, MSc, and PhD? Do not Google this. Do not Google this. If you don't know, say I don't know. I actually want to see the number of people that don't know what it means. Okay, so I'm seeing some people know what MBA is. Omani Fatasi said Masters in Business Administration. Sadiq said Masters of Business Administration. MSc Masters of Science. PhD Doctor of Philosophy. Awesome, awesome. Thank you. Uh, Last one, and then we go properly to today's session. In Nigeria, like Nigerians generally, we are food people. So if you could eat only one food for the rest of your life, just one food, what would it be and why? Just one food. Oh my God. Muhammad Sajidin said Gary. Interesting. Uh, let's hear from others. If you could eat only one food, what would you eat? Okay, plantain, amala and ewedu, rice, bread and ewa going, yam and egg sauce, rice. Awesome, awesome. So thank you so much for participating in our little icebreaker. All our guests are here, all our speakers are here, and yeah, let's just introduce them. So we have AbdulGafar Sulaiman, aka Professor Agas. He is he has a PhD in is a PhD candidate in transportation engineering at the University of Illinois, USA. Uh, he has his master's degree in structural engineering. He has his BSc, that's his bachelor's degree in civil engineering, both from the University of Lagos. Um, he is a highly accomplished individual with a diverse range of expertise and experiences. His outstanding academic achievements are exemplified by his exceptional GRE score of 331 out of 340, showcasing his intellectual capabilities and commitment to scholarly excellence. In addition to his academic pursuits, he has gained substantial professional experience as an engineer. He has worked with the CCECC, a renowned engineering firm where he contributed his skills and knowledge to various projects. His practical experience has strengthened his understanding of engineering principles and their real world applications. Moreover, his skills extend beyond the realm of engineering. He is a proficient business leader and consultant, currently serving as a consultant at Illinois Business Consulting, based in the United States. In this role, he leverages his multidisciplinary expertise to provide valuable insights and strategic guidance to clients. Abdulgafar's exceptional academic prowess, extensive engineering experience, and business acumen make him a well-rounded and versatile professional. With a commitment to excellence and a drive for success, he is poised to make significant contributions in the field of transportation engineering, business consulting, and beyond. So there's one thing I want us to do. I want us to make use of I want us to make use of drum rolls in the comment section, in the chat box rather, to welcome Mr. AbdulGafar Sulaiman, aka Professor Agas. Awesome. Welcome, sir. Welcome. So our next speaker is Farouk Shittu. Farouk Shittu currently works as a client support and database operator at the Nottingham Energy Partnership, from the same city where he recently completed his MSc in Business Management with a distinction in January 2023. He previously completed his undergraduate studies in building, University of Lagos in 2019. In the period before he started his postgraduate, he has been he has been a member of the Global Project Management Institute and has been involved in construction of different commercial and residential properties. Now, as a member of the Chartered Management Institute, CMI UK, he looks to also become a qualified project manager with the Association for Project Management UK, and he trains in data analysis to further support his ambition of using data insights to help businesses develop and manage their growth and projects and manage their growth projects by projects. An Arsenal fan at other times, he enjoys nature photography, calligraphy, book reading, and monetary, economic, and wildlife documentaries. Welcome, Mr. Farouk Shittu. So our next speaker is Mr. Lekan Wahab, and he is an accomplished professional with a strong educational background and extensive experience in the finance industry. He holds a bachelor's degree from the prestigious Obafemi Awolowo University and is currently pursuing his Master of Business Administration, MBA, at the renowned University of Chicago Booth School of Business in the United States. Lekan's exceptional academic journey at the University of Chicago is further distinguished by his recognition as the recipient of the esteemed Professor Marvin Zonis Fellowship Award. This distinguished accolade is typically granted to one exceptional international student from an emerging economy, underscoring Lekan's outstanding capabilities and potential. Lekan has made significant contributions in the finance industry, showcasing his expertise in strategic planning, investment analysis, and business development. His professional experience includes working with reputable organizations such as ARM Holdco, KPMG, Africa Finance Corporation, and Fullstone Capital. Through his roles in these companies, Lekan has honed his skills and gained valuable insights into financial markets and industry trends. His unique blend his unique blend of financial acumen and strategic thinking has positioned him as a trusted advisor in driving business growth and investment decisions. Lekan Wahab's exceptional academic achievements, combined with his proven track record in the finance industry, makes him a highly sought after professional in the field. With his MBA education from the University of Chicago, his experience at esteemed organizations, and his passion for driving financial success, Lekan is poised to continue making a significant impact in strategic financial planning, investment analysis, and business development. Welcome, kind sirs. It is truly plenty. So going straight to it, I'm going to start with asking uh Mr. Abdulgafar. Yeah, I'm going to start with asking Mr. Abdulgafar one question, then I'm going to ask Mr. Lekan the next, then I'm going to ask Farouk the next. So we're going to do that for some minutes before we now get to the panel session, which is just talking about topics related to what we've curated from the audience and before this session. So, Mr. AbdulGafar, I want to ask, with your PhD experience, could you share your personal insights on the value of pursuing a doctoral degree? And also, how has it shaped your thinking, your research capabilities, and contributions to your field?
That's a lot. That's a lot in one question. Can you repeat that, please?
Okay, so I'm asking that with your PhD experience, can you share with us your personal insight on the value of pursuing a doctoral degree? I think let's start from there. Why is getting a doctoral degree a good idea for someone who is
I think you
probably
can take the question in
interested
full.
in getting one? All right then. Um, so I'm asking, with your PhD experience, could you share your personal insights on the value of pursuing a doctoral degree and how has it shaped your thinking, your research capability?
I think I lost you.
And contributions to your field?
Okay. Yeah. So I wanted you to take the question in full because I don't think I can discuss I don't think I can say much about the value of a PhD because I don't have a PhD yet, right? So I can only talk
Okay,
about
yeah.
like my experience right now and then like the effect that it has had on me, right? So whatever I want to say about a PhD will be about having a
Yes, sir.
PhD will be what I've heard people say, which might not be true. So basically
Okay.
for me personally, um I think um a PhD is it's a very, very like important achievement. It's a very, very resourceful achievement, at least for me. This is my third year. This is the end of my third year of doing a PhD. And then like there is no like well-defined coursework for a PhD, right? So you have to like take classes that would enable you to like complete your dissertation. So there is no like structured classes and all that you have to take and all. So you have to think about my dissertation, what kind of line I have to take, and then you have to like make like good decision about like the classes that would help me in this line of my dissertation. So and then it depends on the kind of lab that you're working on. I'm in engineering, right? So I'm working like majorly in the lab experimentally. So you have like projects that you get to work on, by which your advisor will be advising, but then you are like the main guy working this project. So you gain like a number of skills um, um, doing this, working on this project, like trying to like contact the clients that provided the funding for the project, trying to like complete the tasks for this project, and even from writing a proposal for this project and trying to like get money, and then trying to like create a timeline of task, and then the different kind of challenges that you're going to have as regards like the scope of the project, as regards like the time of the project, as regards like the cost of the project, as regards like the stakeholders in the project, trying to like get feedback and send emails and all that. So within all of these, there is communication, there is writing, there is planning, there is management, there is a lot of skills that you're going to gain and develop um, um, in the course of carrying out this project and then ultimately seeing the end of this project. Because like I can say that now because I have like completed a project right now, and then I'm in the stage of writing the final reports for this project. So it took me 2 years for me to like accomplish everything and then have
Wow.
write the final report. Have submitted to my advisor. So it's so trying to look back on everything is like a whole very of course during everything it was not so interesting. There's a lot of challenges on it, but then it is um a whole learning experience for you and the chance to like write these reports and then trying to like submit it and then hope that this will be implemented or this will like advance your field. This will like give a lot of people will learn from this and then a lot of people can implement. And then if you're working in a field whereby your things can actually be implemented, then it's give you enough, it give you like so much pride for you to see that this thing is being implemented or like people are actually like not really just referencing this work, but then like they're actually using it in the field and all. So that's one of the that's like basically some of the things that you can get from a PhD that I don't think you can get from a bachelor's or a
Yes.
master's. And then
All right.
also like trying to contribution to the field also with your work like my work is about the one for the project I just completed was like about using highway mixes in airports, and then I'm submitting the report to like Illinois Department of Transportation, which is like the lamata of like Illinois, right? So I am hoping that of which they are the client for the project that in like the next 2 or 3 years times we can see some in some cases whereby some highway mixes were using airports which will like reduce money, reduce time, and then has like a number of benefits and all. So that's something that you can like, I don't think you can get from a bachelor's and all. So
Yeah. Thank you so much. That seems like a lot. So for anybody who's considering a PhD, I hope that this has answered that question for you. So moving to Mr. Farouk Shittu, you completed your master's degree you did your MSc in January this year. Congratulations. So having pursued an MSc degree, could you share your personal experience and the kind of impact that has had on your professional journey? So how did it enhance your skills, your knowledge, and your career prospects?
Now, Assalamu alaikum. Jazakumullah khairan for the invitation to this session. With the question that
You're
you've
welcome.
asked,
Yeah.
thank you. um, I only recently finished and
Yeah.
trying to talk about the impact it has had. Is Did you mention saying the impact, and as well, I think you mentioned the second thing as well
Yeah, like the impact that has had on your skills.
on
How has it
professional.
enhanced
Okay,
your skills, your knowledge, and even your career
okay,
prospects? Yeah.
okay, yes. So I would try to respond by saying I think it kind of it relates to the last question that
Okay.
you asked Professor Agas as well. So I think trying to make the decision between a master's and PhD and everything that is within that context. Um, the You can't take away the situation you are in at the point of making that journey. So depending on the number of professional experience, years of professional experience you've had, what exactly are you curious about to find out? So all of those things contribute into the impact the masters would actually have. Myself, I was one of the key things that I needed the masters for was to like you can say transition or not necessarily box myself to the industry I started from or the niche I started from, which was in as like a construction manager. So I had to like change into something more like you said, management, business management. So so that is it probably makes it a little bit more difficult to quickly see returns immediately after completing 5 months or 4 months after completing it. So those are the things that you need to consider. But yes, it has really contributed a lot. Considering the fact that my main um, trajectory for myself had been something around management. So the reason why I went into construction or building was also the management aspect of it. So that became much more reverberating over the years as I completed my
Mm-hmm.
undergraduate in Unilag, and I wanted to.
Okay.
You're struggling to hear me? Okay. Yeah. So that became more.
No, no, no. We can hear
So
you.
coming here. Okay. So coming here for a master's in management, it has definitely helped a number of things that I was only reading from books or reading from articles, curious about, maybe TED Talks and things like that. Eventually coming into the school environment, doing some experience projects on it as well. I had for my project, I consulted with a business, so it was also a good opportunity. Just like Professor Agas said, you do all those planning, speaking with clients, how you are able to understanding a number of things like depends really on what exactly the contents of your course is, where you're, the point you were at when you were starting the program. And so for me, yes, it
Mm-hmm.
has helped with now making say, the continued, it has helped me with that continued growth into being more, having more analytical and technical skills that are just outside of a construction background where I started from.
Awesome. Thank you so much
And
for your response. So over to Mr. Lekan now. You're currently pursuing an MBA. So can you share? Sorry? Hello? Can you
Can
guys
you repeat
hear
the question
me?
again? I'm not sure I got the question you asked.
Okay, okay. All right,
Yeah, can
awesome.
I hear?
I was saying that you're currently pursuing an MBA. So can you share how that journey that you're currently on, how it has shaped your perspective on business and leadership, and also how has it contributed to your ability to sort of drive innovation and navigate complex challenges? Did you get that, Mr. Lekan?
I mean, I would assume I got the question. I think the question is how my MBA program so far has influenced my perspective and how that has helped me to become more innovative. I mean, that was the part I got from the question. If you can do also put it in the chat, or it seems there's a feedback or network effects from your end. Okay, yeah, I think I'll just take a swing at it. So the question is how the MBA program has influenced has shaped my perspective so far. So I think, before I came for the MBA, and I will try as much as possible to give you 100% disclosure of how, what led me to making that decision, how my experience has been, and how that has influenced me. Before I enrolled for the MBA program, I was working I started my career in consulting, in strategy consulting, and then I pivoted to finance. So I did a bit of finance, and I loved the experience. But for me, I asked myself a question. I loved the job I was doing before I came for the MBA program, by the way. But before I came here, I asked myself a question that if I looked at the trajectory of people I was working with, they're like, doing very well. They have some of the best careers. But I asked myself,
looking at what they've done, looking at where they are in their career, I needed an international exposure. I needed to do something abroad. When you come back home, you get to see how more developed countries have done are doing things, and then you can't 100% fit that into your own country because there are like differences, but at least you can like get an understanding of how people do things in the more developed world. So that was what led me to going for the MBA program to challenge my perspectives. And I came in, it's been a very awesome experience for me so far. And one thing about the MBA program is I'm in class with over 600 people from different parts of the world, China, Asia, from Asia, from everywhere. And you get to learn how people think, their experiences, people share their experiences. That exposure is really there. There's a leadership course I took in school, which is really good on how to manage people. And I think most of the things that happen in our work today is really about our interpersonal dynamics, like how we interact with other people. So being able to understand how to relate with people, how to understand people, that can help you achieve a lot more results for yourself and for whatever organization you work with. So I think from the perspective of being in class with diverse people from the rest of the world, I think that definitely has shaped my perspective, helped me to understand how people think, how the world works. So that's one thing. I also think the professors are really good. Most of them have worked in the corporate world and now they are coming back to the class. So they are bringing like the professional experience into the forwards of the classroom. So it's been a very good experience for me so far from that perspective. I'm not sure if there's any aspect of your question I haven't covered, but if there's anyone, then you can maybe just drop it in the chat box because seems the network from your end is not so great. But yeah.
You've answered very properly. Thank you so much. Yeah. Okay, so moving on back to Professor Agas. What advice would you give to individuals that are considering pursuing a PhD degree? What mindset and commitments are necessary to thrive in a doctoral program and make meaningful contributions in their chosen fields?
Oh my God, all your questions are always loaded. They're like 3 or 4 parts.
Yeah.
And now, can you repeat, please?
Okay. Okay. So I'm asking that for someone who is considering pursuing a PhD degree, what advice would you give them? What kind of mindset, what sort of commitments they need to make in order to thrive? Because you said you're on your third year now, and I want to I believe that it's probably really intensive, that it takes a lot of your time. So what sort of mindset should individuals who want to consider or who are considering pursuing a PhD, what sort of mindset should they have going into it? And yeah, that's my question.
Yes, and how many minutes do I have?
Okay, let's say 5-7 minutes.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
So what kind of advice? Like a lot, like a whole lot. Number one is that you shouldn't do a PhD if you don't want to do a PhD. I don't know. That's quite easy to know, but then I don't know. A lot of people just want to do a PhD because they want to do a PhD. So you shouldn't do a PhD if you don't want to. Like you should want to do a PhD. You should want to like advance you should want to like advance your field of study. You should want to like make an impact. You should want to like um make your own addition basically. So and then you should want to like go through all the rigors that it takes to do a PhD because it is not an easy thing depending on wherever it is that you are doing a PhD. So you shouldn't do a PhD if you don't want to do a PhD. it involves like a whole lot of things, and then it is quite stressful, I would say. At least for me, it is quite stressful. So if you don't want it, if you don't like it, if you don't love it, then you're just going to burn out. And then the PhD has, I would say, like a higher rate of people like dropping out as compared to like masters, or as compared to like a bachelor. So if you don't want it, or if you don't love it from the beginning, you shouldn't just do a PhD because people are doing a PhD. I want to get a PhD also. That's the first one. And then the second thing I can mention is like trying so hard to like be selective in your advisor. And then, although considering the fact that we are we are most of us are like applying for a PhD from Nigeria, and then we might not have the luxury of being selective and all. But then I don't know. I think one of the ways by which you can like know about an advisor is like going online and like checking like his lab, and then like contacting the people that are working, present people that are working with him, and they're like trying to like understand how this person is and all. Contacting like past students, especially like past students that are graduated, and then like asking about this person, because it's very, very important for you to like know that, okay, in this crazy world of doing a PhD, um like my advisor is with me. Like my advisor is like he supports me, like he wants the best for me, because my advisor like wants the best for us. So regardless of whatever it is that we are facing, like we know that, okay, this guy wants the best. So whatever hardship that I'm facing, I know that it is what is required as a PhD, not addition of problem of my advisor's relationship. And then so if you have a good advisor, and then you have the mindset that this thing is a difficult thing already, then you should be able to like pull through. It's not going to be an easy ride, but then at least you should be able to like pull through. Talking about mindset and commitments, you should know that you're trying to like be scholar, you're trying to like be making your own addition. So you should be able to like think outside the box of the current things that are going on, and then be able to like be innovative. Like innovation and creativity is very, very important. So basically, two things that you need for a PhD. You need like background knowledge, like which is like the knowledge of your field, knowledge of your discipline, like the background knowledge, and then creativity and innovation. So with those two things, you can be able to like do a PhD, because without the background knowledge, you can be like a very, very smart person, but then if I'm very intelligent and all within and then I'm going to pursue a PhD. If I'm intelligent and smart, if I'm going to pursue a PhD in civil engineering, but then I don't have a bachelor's in civil engineering, I don't have a master's in civil engineering, it's going to be very tough for me, because I don't have like the background knowledge for me to apply my creativity and all. But then also, if I just have the background knowledge and then I'm not creative, then basically I'll just excel in the classes and all, because I know what it is, but then I cannot think outside the box of what's the new thing that I want to add, or what's this idea that I want to pursue. So if I have like the background knowledge, if I try so much to gain background knowledge, but like the classes are already taken from like bachelor's and masters, and then also trying to like read from what people have published, trying to like read papers, trying to like read articles, come to gain the background knowledge, and then also apply my critical reasoning skills and then my innovative skills to this background knowledge that I have. Then I can be able to find my own niche and say, okay, this is what I want to pursue, or this is what I want to like make my research on. So
Wow.
this mindset of knowledge and intelligence is like the two things that you need to join together for you to like pursue PhD. And then of course you should just know that it is tough. So like on tough days, you should know that, okay, this is what it takes to be a PhD. This is what it takes for me to have a PhD. This is what I have to go through, because and then think that, okay, all these guys that have PhD at the back of their name, also this is what they go through. That's of course apart from that's of course if you're now having like several other issues that you think are like negligent, maybe your advisor do not like you, or your advisor is not a good person, or your lab colleagues are like frustrating you, or your department is doing this and all. But then if with
Professor Agas, I think you're muted, so we can't hear you anymore.
sorry, sorry,
Yeah.
sorry. So just knowing that it is a tough thing that everybody that has a PhD has gone through, if all of these artificial challenges are like a way are non-existent, then that should like be able to like get you to pull through. So I think that would be like my answer as regards to like advice and then mindset for a PhD.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes. Thank you
that
so
was
much.
from
That was a really detailed response. Thank you. Uh, so yeah, moving to Mr. Farouk. From your experience, what advice would you give to individuals that are considering pursuing an MSc degree? So it's similar to Professor Agas's question, just okay for an MSc, because a lot of people want to do their masters. Oh, I want to do my masters. I want to do my masters. So, what advice are you going to give to those people that are considering? Like, what aspects should they focus on so that they can sort of maximize the value and impact of their postgraduate education?
Yeah, thank you. I think it's still related to some of the things I said last time as well.
Okay.
Like on this call as well, we also have someone. We have someone um, taking an MBA also. So depending on the experience you've had after you finished your undergraduate, you can try to make a decision between an MSc and an MBA. For myself, making the decision was, because I had, um, I think, less than 2 years of experience by the time I was starting. So I had to do an MSc. For you to qualify for an MBA, you'd have to maybe you need at least 3 years. The reason why I'm saying that is those things contribute to why you should be taking an MSc, because as an coming in to take an MSc is more about it's you can say if if you have less number of years of experience in the industry, then you can probably go for an MSc. And also, again, depending on what exactly your field of study is, are you in the sciences or you're in maybe engineering or something more technical? So all of those things contribute to why you should take an MSc, and then they would then depend on the exact skills and knowledge that you are actually getting yourself into. So if you taking an MSc, you can have, say, for me, you can have some uh, opportunity to further understand. At first, maybe you can say more conceptually a number of things. So if you are say maybe transitioning or taking an MSc in a separate area like myself from your undergraduate, then it's an opportunity for you to just be able to learn about what that field is, or what to be trained in that area as well. But if you were continuing with, let's say you did economics and then you're doing an MSc in economics, then that is just it becomes a much more deeper experience for you. Then you can really understand more advanced concepts and topics, and yeah, and ways of applying the knowledge you've had in your undergraduate. So all of those things factor into the MSc program you are making a decision to go into. And then afterwards, during the MSc, um, did you ask a question about how the experience is also with the MSc?
No, I didn't. But if you want to tell us, please go
Okay.
ahead.
So what? Okay. So what I would just say to close off with the question and the experience of an MSc is I think what it then allows you to do if you've come in for an MSc is you can then, let's say, um, really have the opportunity to um, those advanced topics like you, for example, for myself, from construction coming into management. So a number of things that was trying to learn and understand before about operations. How do you manage an organization? How do you lead an organization going through change and the rates and impact of technology, things like corporate social responsibility,
Okay.
how do you manage a global workforce, things like that. So
All
really
right.
helped
So,
me to understand those. Yeah.
okay. Sorry to cut you short. I wanted to ask something. You
Yeah.
said earlier that you kind of transitioned from, you did something else for your BSc, for your undergrad, and
Yeah.
then you're doing something else, or you did something else in your MSc. Did you have to maybe do
Yeah.
like a conversion degree, or did you have to take some courses or do anything else before you could start your MSc program?
I'm um I didn't know what I've to gain access to my MSc, because that's the thing. If you're making a slight, if you're not continuing with, say, BSc mechanical engineering and then MSc mechanical engineering, it might take you a little
Okay.
bit more to try to, depending on the school, the opportunities you have, all of those things. It might take a little bit more to show some things to prove, you being able to um, perform
Okay.
well in that
Uh-huh.
program. So for me, it was generally about, reading and maybe online courses as well. I did some online, I can hear echo of myself. So doing some online courses. So I did a mini MBA sometime also, and just reading generally about entrepreneurship, things like that, organizational management. So some of those things helped while I was writing my applications. And also when I got into the program as well, I was really, some of the, maybe even the resources and texts that we're using in the class, something that I was familiar with already. So those things then helped to really make me feel more, not like an outsider during the program, but also to be able to, really enjoy the experience of just learning. So really, to summarize everything, it's just about what exactly are you, you know, curious about, interested in finding out. And that's why, like I think with the last question and
Okay.
response also, it has to be something you are really interested in and you really want to
Okay.
like
Well, I,
do.
I think what my question exactly was, and I'm not sure whether I missed it
Okay.
in your response. Like you didn't, it was not
Okay.
from the school officially that, oh, you had to
Oh,
take
okay.
this particular
No,
courses. It was just
no,
on
no,
your
no.
own that you decided to do the extra catching up to ensure that you were not lagging behind with the degree that you were pursuing, right?
Yes, yes. I
Okay.
didn't have to do any
All
conversion
right.
courses
Okay.
or anything like that.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you. So over to Mr. Lekan now. Same question, still similar. For people who want to get an MBA, what advice would you give them? And also, like, if someone is considering, oh, should I get an MBA? Should I get an MSc? What advice would you give to that individual?
Yeah, thank you. I think the earlier speakers have, I'll just right on the back of um, what they said already. I think for the MBA, it's just like an MSc or like a PhD. It's more so like you want to be sure of what you want, like clearly define your goals. What do I want to achieve out of this program I want to pursue? So if you want to go for the MBA, for example, you're more tilted towards the professional line. So let's say you want to work in finance, want to work in consulting, tech, or whatever. MSc also gives you the same opportunity, but MBA, like the earlier speaker mentioned, um, is it depends on the school, right? But in my experience, like MBA is more so for people who have some years of experience. So let's say you've been doing something, and let's say you work in finance, or you work in consulting, or you work in engineer or law. Like we have different people from different backgrounds in the MBA program. We have people in law, in engineering, in healthcare. So it's also like, what do you want to get out of the program? So you ask yourself, what I want to do long term, what I want to do in the next 3, 4, 5 years, what I want to be in the long term, what I want to do, what I enjoy doing. Then if you're able to answer those questions, I think the next thing would then be to say, am I qualified for an MBA program? What kind of MBA do I want to go for? What school am I looking at? Which school is particularly strong in this area that I want to build my expertise in? Let's say you want to go into tech, you want to work for Google, or let's say you want to work for, say, like Microsoft. So the question would then be, so let's say you are even doing healthcare or law, but you probably don't enjoy law, you don't enjoy healthcare, you don't enjoy finance, you want to transition into tech. MBA gives you the opportunity to like make a career transition from one point to the other. So that's one advantage of the MBA program. The other advantage is some people do the MBA because they want to make a transition geographically. So let's say you're in Nigeria, you want to like move to the US, doing the same thing you're doing with this, with a similar company. Let's say you work for KPMG, you want to now work for McKinsey or PwC or whatever, but you want to do that in the US. So MBA gives you the opportunity to like move geographically, continue doing the same thing you were doing in Nigeria. So there are like different advantages the MBA gives you. Like I said, one is people transitioning between careers from one country to the other. MBA gives you the opportunity. And like I said, for you to know, you need to be very clear with your goals, what you want to do the short term after the MBA program. MBAs are typically for 24 months, right? So you want to be clear that after the MBA program, this is what I want to do. And over the long term, this is what I want to do. So you need to be able to tell that story very well to the schools you're applying to. They need to see a logical and clear narrative around your experience so far from, your professional, your personal experience, why you want to do an MBA, what do you start to gain if you do an MBA, what do you want to contribute to the school when you come in, and all of those things. With regards to your question on the difference between MSc and MBA, like I said, it's just more so like if you just finish undergrad and you don't have any experience, MSc can like be a good one. But I also know people who have like 1 year's experience who consider masters, MSc, and they go for it. Some people have 4 or 5 years experience to go for masters. It really depends on what you really want to do. Some people want to like go the academic way and do MSc and PhD. That's also something. That's also like a path for people. It really depends on what you find interesting. There are so many interesting things in the world, so you need to like figure out what you particularly find interesting, what you want in the short term, and what you want in the long term, and then based on that, you then tailor your career, you build your profile, and then you go for whatever you want.
All right, thank you so much. So I have just one question for Professor Agas before we go to the next part of this. So here we can see that you had this outstanding GRE score of 331 out of 340. You didn't want to leave anything for your examiners. So the question now is, how did you get the score? What tips can you share for people who want to get this score even higher, if possible? And really, what was the impact of having this high score, and how did you use it to get into the school you're currently at, which I'm assuming that was like your best choice?
Oh my God. 3-part questions again. Again, please. Again.
Okay, so I'm asking how you got this outstanding GRE score, tips for people who also want to get this score, and how did this score help, would I say, to like, how did it improve your chances for picking the school you're currently at for your PhD?
Okay. How did I get this score? I don't know. I prepared for the exam. I prepared for the exam. I took mocks. Okay, so basically, I don't want to sound lazy and all, but then like I wrote I wrote a book basically that like details like in much more detailed and then much more
Okay.
specific technicality about the GRE and then how I got my score. And then I think I can share a copy with you like later. So
Oh, awesome.
it's
Thank
about
you.
27 like 20
Thank you,
something
sir.
pages of like of
Okay.
everything. So but then that'll give you like much more detail of how of everything about the GRE and all. And then how like and then also like it also includes like a lot of tips, a lot of like resources, a lot of like materials that you can access online, and then how to like take the exams, like mindsets, a lot of things basically. It's a lot. It's a lot. So I think that would
Okay.
answer, and then that would like
All right.
prevent you from like
That would be fantastic, but I think we would like if you could also give us like a really condensed slash short form version for the people in the audience now.
yeah, so okay, so basically, like the JAG is a standardized test, right?
Yes,
So there is like they have like an official guide, so
yes.
they cannot exit this official guide, because if they should exit the content of this, then there are no more standardized tests. And then there's
Okay.
a lot of information about like their structure, about the sequence. Basically, all of these classes are using of a standardized test, which is why it is different from your normal exams or from your normal courses that you take in the university, whereby
Okay.
they have like your 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 um your professor can like go tangential from like the content, or can be expecting you to use some applied knowledge and all of this.
Yeah.
No, the GR
Mm-hmm.
is standardized. So basically all you have to do is to be able to like ensure that you know you are very developed in this in these standards that they have, and then like you are very familiar with these standards that they have, and then trying to take mocks. So like mocks are like the exams, you understand? So trying to take a
Yes.
mock, and then basically from my experience, like if you should, whatever score that you have in a mock, um your real actual score on the exam will be like ±5 from this
Oh, interesting.
from this course. So if I want to get a 340 and I'm getting 320 in the mock, then it means that I'm not ready, that I need to work on one or two things. So if I want to get a 330, I'm getting a
Mm-hmm.
310, then it means that I'm not ready, right? So if you actually do like the good mocks that are like representative of what the actual exam would be. And there are a lot of free mocks online. There are a lot of free materials online. But then basically just know it's a standardized test. I need to get myself very familiar with this standard and this in this guide and all. And then I need to like take mocks to like see where I am. So so you take a mock, you look at your mistakes, look at where you can improve, try and study more. You take another mock, look at your mistakes, look at where you can improve, try and study more. You take another mock, then you can see how you can get like 5 points, 10 points, 2 points, 3 points. And then whenever you think that
Okay.
you've reached like a plateau, then I don't know, maybe then you can now take the exam. So like for me, my last mock that I took, I had 328 in the last mock that I took. And then on my exam they had 331. So and then I think my first mock was like 317 or like 310 or something. So
Wow. Okay.
that's just how it
So
is
like
about the
what
GRE and all.
impact?
So as a
Okay.
guys,
So like the follow-up question was the
imp
impact
of course,
of the
man,
score.
like
Yeah.
it was really helpful. It was extremely helpful,
Yeah.
like extremely helpful.
Mm-hmm.
Number one, like I applied for a PhD fellowship in so basically with
Okay.
my GRE score, like I could craft an email that I want to send to professors, right? And then I could like introduce myself that my name is AbdulGafar Sulaiman, blah blah blah. I did my BSc and masters in Nigeria. I go to the GRE exam, I had this score. I go to the TOEFL exam, I had this score. And then like my GRE exam was usually in bold, and then my TOEFL was usually in bold. And then
Yeah.
I've done this and this, and then I would like to like work in your lab, like, and then so I was able to like create this sample email that I can send to like several
Yeah.
professors, and then I get a ton of responses. You understand? And then based on different kind of responses, we can discuss on Skype, we can discuss on Zoom. Um, you can I will advise you to apply. You can write my name in your statement of purpose. You can do this, you can do that, and then based on all of these responses, I can filter out like the most positive responses and say, okay, I think these are the guys that are like really, really interested. So it gives you like a whole lot of options, give you like a whole array
Yes.
of options for you to choose from. And then it just, in fact, that was a guy that was not that was not in the specialization that I'm planning to work on. But then like he sent me an email that yeah, like not but they like he wanted to like speak and they like
Yeah.
just like trying to see what he can do, even if like he's not in our line, in my line at all and all. And then there was some kind of fellowship that I applied for NYU Abu Dhabi, and then they had like some kind of high requirement for the GRE and all. And then the guy told me that I was qualified, that I could apply for this, and then I applied for that, and then I got that. I got that. Then like before admission, like you are invited to Abu Dhabi for like 5 days, all expense paid trip and all. So and then ultimately trying to like I'll get my PhD at UIUC, which is like a very, very highly recognized school for like civil engineering. It's either one number one or number two in the United States for transportation engineering specifically. So I don't know. I think the GRE has very, very, very,
Yeah.
very, very consequential,
Helpful.
very influential
Yeah.
in my program. And then any day, anytime, I would always be an advocate for people to write the GRE. I would always be an advocate for people to write the GRE. Like the return on investment is enormous. Return is like when I go to the exam, I think it was about 50,000 naira when I go to the exam. Then it was about 50,000 naira, and then the return on investment is enormous. It is enormous.
Yeah.
It's so
Yeah,
like
it is.
it's a kind of balance, like common ground for like people that did their BSc in China, people that did their BSc in India, people that did their BSc in Nigeria, people that did their BSc in the US, people that did their BSc in everywhere. So because the 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 content of this BSc is different. You cannot compare BSc in Unilag to BSc in India Institute of Technology, Madras, or
Mm-hmm.
BSc in MIT, or not like one is better than what the other, but then they're like different content and different focus,
Yes.
different skills and different things that you have. So the GI is just something I think like creates like a balanced ground for everybody. So and then looking at what it has done for me, I think it's something that you should do. Something that you should do.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you for that response. So we're definitely going to find out how to get your book so that everybody here can also get it. So yeah, thank you so much to our guest. We've finished the first part of this session. Now we're moving to the next part, and this time, uh, we're going to try to, because I want to get answers from everybody, right? We're going to try to limit our responses to 2-3 minutes. So, uh, my request to everybody, Mr. Lekan, Mr. Farouk, Professor Douglas, is try to help us distill as much details in your answer in the shortest time possible. Thank you so much. So the first question is programs Farouk done with his MSc, Mr. Lekan with his MBA, Professor Agas with his PhD. How do scholarship opportunities, because some of us don't have money, so Nigerians generally they leverage on right actually, but everybody leverages on scholarship opportunities, right? So how do the scholarship opportunities vary, and what factors should prospective students consider when they're seeking financial support for their postgraduate education? Lekan, would you like to go first?
Yeah, sure. I think for the MBA program, it's a bit tricky because so the schools believe that you're coming to, you have experience already, you've worked, and after your MBA program, they expect that you're going to be working. So most MBA students take. I'm trying to find a way to balance this, but yeah, most MBA students they take loan. A few people use their personal funds, and only a few actually got scholarship. And it's even very hard for MBA to get a fully funded scholarship because the school believes that number one, you are coming in for a 2-year journey with them, and when you're done, you'll probably get a job. And they expect that you should be able to repay your loan, or like, so they just want you to like be very responsible with it. For PhD, for example, I know for PhD, and I'm actually just trying to create a parallel. PhD, I mean, you can research, you can work in the professional world as well for PhD. You can be like a research professional for like a Microsoft if you want. You can also choose to stay in academia. But for PhD, schools believe that they are advancing academics. They are like promoting research and development. So it makes sense for them to fully fund PhD. But for MBA, they think you're going to make shitload of money after your MBA program. You should be able to put some skin in the game, whether you want to use your personal funds or you want to take a loan or whatever. So they want you to just put a skin in the game. But for scholarship, there are scholarship for, I know for some schools like HBS, Harvard Business School, they have like a need-based scholarship based on where you're coming from. If you're coming from Nigeria, you're coming from any country in Africa. It depends on, you look at your track record. Let's say they like your profile, they like what you've done, and then they look at where you've worked, your salary, because you are going to fill your salary information when you're applying. They look at what you've earned over the last couple of years, and they determine the scholarship they want to give you based on all of that. For my school, Chicago Bulls, they do the same thing. If they see that you've done so well, you've made a lot of money over the last couple of years, you've been working, they would most likely not consider you for a scholarship because they know you have the strength to fund it. But again, for scholarship generally, if you're coming from a developing country, schools typically would give you scholarship if they like your profile. What will make them like your profile is your GRE, your GMAT score. I know the average score for both for GRE was about 327, 328 for my class. And that's why you see people have like 339, 340. So that's for GRE. For GMAT, I think the average score for GMAT was about 720 or thereabout, 720 something. So they look at your GRE GMAT score, they look at your essays, they look at your experience, they look at the recommendation letters that your recommenders wrote about you, what did they say about you, and they look at your interview. So there are like a lot of things they look at before they determine scholarship, how much they want to give you, and even if they want to give you scholarship at all. I don't know if that answers the question, but to your point, to your question specifically is if you want to do an MBA, you need to prepare a holistic application from your GRE GMAT score, making sure you have like some of the best people you've worked with to write your recommendation letter so that they can call you the best person they've worked with. So doing very well in your interview because you're most likely going to be interviewed by like a white person or an Asian person. So you need to, that cultural difference, you don't want to be weird during the interview. You want to, So when you look at when you bring all those components together, make sure you have a really good, a strength across all of the application process.
Okay.
And you would get considered for good scholarship, I guess.
So, yeah, thank you, Mr. Lekan. I'm hearing good GRE and GMAT results. I'm hearing have excellent recommendation letters. I'm hearing do well with your
Yeah,
HAUs.
and essay,
Stable.
and also your essay as well. Your essay is very important.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you. Mr. Farouk, do you want to go next?
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. I think the
Okay.
fundamentals to consider is the grad school, further study, professional work, all of these things. They don't exist out of a certain context. There's a context for everything. So I think it's much more evident and much more the cycle is much more evident in this environment in Europe and places like that. And what I'm trying to talk about is the cycle and the marriage between industry, government, and universities. So government wants to, do what they do, govern well to make people's lives better, advance society, keep society in order, and they need a lot number of different things. They want to provide infrastructure. So universities are the ones that carry out research and things like that to make sure that we can understand things, we can do scientific inquiry and things like that. University, so governments fund universities, and then the industry want to practically implement. And in the case of in situations of practically implementing things, you questions arise. You want to understand things better, so they also work closely with universities. So, which is why research is a very big area that universities get funded upon across different countries. There is, I mean, that's the way the world is. That's it might not be the best, or maybe you might there might be it might not it might put you with this level of decreased percentage in getting scholarship or things like that. But that's the world we have. That's the way it's currently structured. So research and funding goes into much more research focused and research intent courses, which is why, like Mr. Alekon said, that for like MBA, where you're not really doing a research that is advancing knowledge in a certain, it's not research focused. I'm not trying to do, especially it's not even natural sciences or something sciences related. That's more business. That's more something. So that's just the way it's seen. That's just things that you just need to consider. So those things, when you understand that reality, it just makes you a little bit more accepting and knowing of the what you have in front of yourself. So for people that are much more in sciences related areas, and then you're looking for a postgraduate this thing, there is I think I would say that there is that reality that there's probably more funding that you would see in developmental postgraduate courses, in sciences related courses, engineering also, things like that. So there's more funding there. Or if you are doing something more, maybe economics, I don't know, management, more business, more something like that, you might probably have disproportionate level of funding. So that then
Okay.
means
So
you need to just
I'm hearing that um it really depends, and for research based or research focused industry, universities, they get more funding and there are better chances of people getting scholarships when they apply to those schools. That's what you're saying.
Yes, you can. Yes, that's yes. If you are doing
All right.
master MScs to or master's program to also have research focused masters. So if you are trying to do
Yes,
something like that,
yes,
you probably get more funding. PhDs
yeah,
also, that's why they're heavily funded because of
yeah.
their
Okay,
position in
thank you so
some
much.
different things.
Professor Agas, is there anything you want to add before we move to the next question?
Yeah, I think I agree with what the previous two speakers have mentioned, Lekan and um oh my god, I've forgotten
Farouk?
his name. Yeah,
Farouk,
Lekan. Yeah.
yes.
And then yeah, like it's not fair. So like, but then like in the actual sense of what's going on, the guys in STEM have like much more opportunities to funding as
Yes.
compared because of the research that they do. So basically, like they work, they work in the lab, right? And they like because of
Yes.
these hours of working in the lab, they get like paid like for working in the lab as compared to like
Yeah.
as compared to like MBA. So, but then trying to look at the actual specific of what you can get in the STEM field, like the major source of funding is like a research assistantship. And then a research assistantship means that you're assisting someone in research. So for you to assist someone in research, you need the person that is actually doing research, which is like your professor, which is like your advisor.
Yeah.
So that means that you need someone that will say, okay, you're going to assist me. And then if you want to assist this person, you need to like impress this person. You understand? So in trying to impress this person is trying to like ensure that you have like a very, very good profile, which is like what Lekan has mentioned. Like you have like good GRE and GMAT, you have like good recommendations, you have like good essay, statement of purpose, and all of that. So trying to like impress this person. So the person is impressed and is like, okay, I'm going to like accept you to like assist me in research. And then whenever the guy gets fund from the government or from whatever source, or from like all the sources that Farouk has mentioned, whenever the guy gets the money, then gets to like give you part of the money for you to like do your PhD and all. So that's just how like this system works. You have to like impress this guy that you want to assist. But then also, personally, I think one of the reasons why the MBAs don't get funding is because after the MBA, they get like good jobs that get like huge money as compared to the guys that are in STEM. So it's just balance. They do this MBA and they get like
Okay.
$20,000 job, and then others
Yeah.
that get like
Okay.
some bigger amount of money. So just fair for them to not have like so much funding as less.
Wow. Okay. So I think we already answered question 2, talking about how students can navigate scholarship applications and how to increase their chances of funding. Mr. Leko already addressed that. So yes, so this next one, can you share with us notable scholarship programs for your respective fields so that people who are maybe interested in these fields can go and read more about the scholarship programs? Or is it too much a bit on the spot?
I think I can say the first go at this. So
Okay.
for me being like doing a PhD in STEM, right? This the scholarship programs they like looking at the students that in the labs that are doing a PhD. So by scholarship program, they are like majorly like external scholarship, and then like external scholarship, they take like a very, very few percentage of like the students that come to study. So by external scholarship, I'm talking about like Fulbright scholarship, World Bank scholarship, Chevening scholarship, UNICEF, or several of these like external scholarship, whereby like people apply from like the whole of Africa, and then they select this like this percentage of people apply from Nigeria, and then they select this school. So it takes like looking at 100%, maybe like 5%, or even like lesser than that are the students that are funded by this external scholarship. I think a lot of these external scholarship is where like industries whereby this external scholarship take like a larger, more than 5% of the students would be like I don't like people that are looking like in socials, people that are working in like social sciences, people that are working in like um I don't know, people that are working like much more people related things, so like country economic,
Humanities.
yeah, development related things, or like people that are working in industries that are related to this to the aims and objective of these NGOs basically. So a lot of us that are funded in STEM, we are funded by the internal scholarship, which is like research assistantship or like teaching assistantship. That's where a lot of us are like funded. And then that's like where I would want people that are in STEM, not like people that are like in STEM, people that are doing engineering, people that are doing biosciences, biology, chemistry, and all of that. A lot of us get our funding from assistantship, basically, like being paid to do research for like for like but then the funding is coming from like the university, like the funding is coming from like the advisor, not like you have like an award and then you're trying to like pay the university externally. So because if you're having an award and trying to pay the university externally, then you have to like pay for your tuition, you have to like pay for your living expenses, you have to like pay, and then all these scholarships are like very much more competitive than they're like much more competitive than like assistantship, whereby it is specific and then it is just for like, so for example now if assistantship in the Department of Civil Engineering is only applied for by people that want to do PhD in civil engineering, or like chevening that is applied for like with everybody across Africa or something like that. So I would want us to really look at that, like trying to like get research assistantship, trying to like contact professors, send ton of emails, like it costs you nothing. Like if I say I want to send 10 emails to, I want to contact 10 professors per day, then within 50 days, I'm going to send like 500, I've contacted 500 professors, and then sending an email like cost you like nothing. You
Whoa,
understand?
500 is a lot.
I'm just saying, I'm just saying, but then but then of course, like there are like 500 universities that are like doing what you want to do. In the United States, there's like 4,000 universities in the United States alone. But then I'm just saying that if I want to say, okay, I want to contact this number of professors in this number of days, then there's a lot of guys that you can contact, that you can work with as a research
Yeah.
assistant. That's what I would advise you to look
Okay.
at.
Thank you. Mr. Farouk, Mr. Lekan, do you want to add anything to what Professor Agas has said?
I think I can just maybe contextualize. Again, I just add to what he has said by saying maybe for like UK also would be that it's like he said, those international scholarships and developmental scholarships are like the brand scholarships that maybe some people on this call will already know, and like you said, very competitive because of those reasons that you have said. And so the next level of funding that you can be looking at is maybe those that are provided by the schools themselves, which I really those are just maybe tuition scholarships or full tuition scholarships or maybe discount scholarships also, and especially the same thing like my last response to the same share phenomenon happens there too, where if it's still more research related, then or maybe developmental impact related, then there will even be more funding from the schools and things like that. Or they are doing MS research. But if it is not developmental related and stuff, you might have a lesser pool of funding. So those are just things that you want to consider. You want to look at your own interests, your journey so far, your experience in the industry, what you want to do after school, and then look at how exactly you want to fit in into that structure that exists. Like I said, that's whether it's you say it is unfair, depending on your own situation, or it is not fair, or whatever. It's your opinion might be on it, but that's the reality. So how can you make best of what is available? So just try to find a niche there that can give you enough opportunity to access scholarships, and then also see it with your interest.
Thank you. Yeah. Mr. Lekan, do you have anything to add?
No, I think they've
Covered
pretty
everything.
much covered.
All right.
Can you hear me? Yeah, I
Yes.
think the one thing I'm just going to say is for MBA,
Mm-hmm.
if you're considering MBA, you may want to look at the school's website. I know for each school they have like a resource that aggregate all of the scholarship opportunities they have for their prospective students. So what I'm also going to say is I know schools also have like quality specific scholarships. So let's say, for example, you've been working in nutrition impact before the MBA program. So there are some school alums that have a pot of money for students that are coming in that have nutrition impact. So they give them that award. So you want to also tailor your experience with the schools that you like that support the skills you are bringing on board. That might mean more positive for you when they are considering you for scholarship, just because you have that background they are looking for.
Yes. Okay. Thank you. I want to ask, I don't know, anybody can answer this. I noticed, like, I was checking for scholarships for graduate studies a while back, and I noticed that they have this requirement where they say that you have to return to Nigeria after 1 year, or like when you're done with your program. So for that kind of condition, is it a crime if someone if someone does not come back to Nigeria? Because I was actually thinking about it.
Yeah, I
So
think I think it's illegal, right? Like
Okay.
in the contracts for the scholarship, you said that you're going to come back to Nigeria. Like I know a lot of people, especially for the Fulbright program,
Yes.
because
Yes.
like the aim of this scholarship or of these bodies are like for you to like be exposed, for you to like gain knowledge, right? And then for you to like
Mm-hmm. And
for you
then
to
bring it back.
and they like make an impact, right? Yeah. So
Yes.
I know a friend also that went to like New Zealand and then she had to like come back to Nigeria and then she cannot leave Nigeria for like until after like two
Yes.
years. Not that she cannot leave
Yes.
Nigeria. Yeah. Not like she cannot leave Nigeria for like visit or vacation or something, but then like you cannot stay in New Zealand after your masters and then you cannot
What
just
if she gets a job?
I don't know, like of course, like there is like several what if, right? There's like several what if, but then like a contract is just a contract, like a deal is just a deal, right?
Yeah.
So if I know that I don't want to if I know that I don't want to come back to Nigeria, then maybe I should not um
go
take
for such scholarships.
go for this scholarship there. But then and then of course, like you never know like what will happen in the future, right?
Yeah.
If I should say I'm not going to come back to Nigeria and then I come back to Nigeria and then I get a job and then I'm trying to like apply somewhere else again and they're like, man, you're supposed to be in Nigeria between two and this year, right? Because of you won this scholarship, but then you said you had a job in this other country. Like you never just know what could happen. You understand? And then people just can't check back and say this guy won this scholarship and then he said that this and
Yeah.
this and you understand? So
Yeah.
just best for you to like for you to like adhere to them. And then I don't think they're saying you're stuck in Nigeria, but then you might say you have to be in Nigeria for like 1 year or 2 years or so. I don't know. But then you have to
Yes.
honor.
All right. Thank you very much.
So quickly, I think
So the next
very
question.
quickly, I
Oh,
think
okay.
one thing I would just like to say is like all great points. But one thing I also like to say about the US is if you are coming to the US or thinking of the US for MSc MBA or whatever, make sure, or I mean, again, it depends on your eventual goal. If maybe you want to go back to Nigeria yourself, but if you know you want to be here for some time, make sure your program is STEM, OPT STEM, because I know that's something that a lot of people struggle with, even for the MBA program for some schools that are not STEM. What that means is you only have 1 year after your program to work in the US. And sometimes you can even get a job, but they might need more time to process your papers. So 1 year is not enough. So I've seen a lot of people get out of status because of that. And so you have to be very careful when you are making that decision from the get-go about picking the right school that can give you STEM OPT.
All right. Awesome. Thank you so much for your responses. So the next question, which is the last, but definitely not the least question, is how exactly do scholarship programs contribute to the overall development of postgraduate students, not only academically, but also in terms of networking, mentorship?
I can address that if no one.
Okay.
Yeah, because I think like I'm the one that is the most proximable to scholarship and all. So I think I can. So basically, um um how the scholarship program contributes about, yeah, like it's scholarship are they are good. They are they're like good opportunities. Number one, I can say this, like there is this Mandela fellowship, blah blah blah, and all like like people that won this fellowship, for people that want scholarship, like they put it on their profile that I am a Mandela something, or I'm a Fulbright something. You understand? Because like it's kind of, it shows it is reputable. You understand? People can understand that, okay, this guy won the scholarship, so that means that he has something for him to like want this. You understand? That's like one part. And then also there is also like the network. And at least I know for the Fulbright, because one of the guys in my lab is a Fulbright from Peru, right? So they have this monthly Fulbright awardees check-in. They have like a scholarship body. They have like an office for scholarship in Fulbright, whereby they have like the staff, you understand? And then the work of this staff is to like ensure the success of the people that have won this scholarship, you understand? So that's like a whole different sort of resources for people that have this Fulbright, you understand? Talking about like people that would look at like your academics, your psychology, your life, your career goals, your CV, your just trying to make sure that you're a perfect, and then you're a perfect student, you're like all-rounded student, you understand? People that have like just research assistantship like me, we don't have like opportunity for like all of this. So that's like another way. And then I can also remember like for the NYU fellowship that I got, it was a whole total package also of like people that would cater for you specifically on like how to write proposals, how to like do this, how to do that, how to like counsel, and several other things that other guys do not have. So that's like the several ways by which they contribute to your development. And then also it's depending on how reputable this fellowship is, it is an opportunity for like to like brag, is an opportunity to like show that you are someone that has like stuff because I've won the scholarship. And then and then it's something that you might not know that might happen in the future, and then you be like and then you tell someone that you meet someone that's also won this like very, very competitive scholarship, and then you're like, you guys can like connect based on this level, and then the guy is like very, very interested in you just because you also won the Fulbright, or just because you also won the Chevening, or just because you also won the World Bank scholarship and all. So those are like some ways that I think that they can like contribute to your development.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. Mr. Farouk, Mr. Shittu, sorry, Mr. Lekan, do you want to add anything to what Professor Agas has said?
Yeah, I think what I can say is just to just reiterate the prestige he has said. So if you were to be a school scholarship too, so you can, when you resume to your program, the little bits of, for example, my school, we had like a scholarship award celebratory session, something like that in school, and then you get to just use it to. It was as if like when we had the celebration during the our 1 year program while I was still a student. So it was a little bit like an opportunity to really closely connect more with some other students that also got the scholarship. But aside from that, because it's a school, my own school scholarship, and wasn't really much, so there really isn't a structured networking and mentorship thing with it. But if you were to be maybe more bigger schools as well that even have more competitive scholarship. So maybe they might have some structures. I don't know. Or yes, so like you said, it's just that prestige, and like it can always be something you can use in your profile later on, and to just so that's the whole idea. The returns are not just on the program, but later on in life. And I'm only 6 months after, so I don't know the reverberating impact of the scholarship yet.
All right. Thank you. Mr. Lekan, do you have anything to add?
I think they pretty much covered everything. Nothing to
Yeah.
add. I just think scholarships are a good way for international students to leverage, especially because we don't have access to the loans in the United States yet. So I think that's one opportunity that it helps you to have a great head start. Yeah, I think that's just it. They did justice to question already.
All right, thank you so much. So the next section of today is the Q&A from the audience. So if you have any questions for any of the speakers, please raise your hand and you'll be then you would unmute and speak to ask your question. Alternatively, you could drop a message in the chat box so that we'll get to it. Okay, so I can see two questions here. Uh, oh, okay. Let me attend to the one in the chat box first. Yusuf is asking Professor Agas particularly that what type of research experience can one acquire during one's undergraduate?
Um, can you guys hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
So talking about research experience in undergrad,
Yes,
there are like several opportunities for that. I think like the main one would be like your final year project.
yes,
Like the main one would be like your final year project, trying to like ensure that you're putting in work to like actually like do something like um of course like it's a BSc program, like you cannot win a Nobel Prize, right? But then you're trying to like ensure that you do your best in your final year project, not just trying to do a project whereby you just do within like the second semester of your 500 level, right? Trying to like ensure that okay, maybe you contact this professor early and then you create like a plan of what I want to do for my final year project. And then there's nothing that says you cannot start your final year project from like your IT, like your second semester of funded level. When you're doing your IT, just start thinking about what I want to do for my final year project. So that's like the main thing. But then of course, and then also there are like several other opportunities for you to like gather research. So if I know that I want to do a PhD after my bachelor's, then maybe during my 300 level, I can like discuss with a professor or with someone that I know that is doing research, and then like help this guy in conducting his research, and then like help him to like do some tasks or like create like some framework or like do do some work in the lab. You understand? If he's working on a paper, I can discuss with him that okay, I want to I'm looking at doing a PhD um after my BSc, so I'd like to like work on some one or two papers with you if you can like delegate some tasks for me to do. So that's something like I can tell your the professor. And then of course like it's Nigeria, right? Is you are even without coming, there is like enough work for you. There's like enough work for you to do. But then if you can't meet this guy, the guy is willing to like give you some tasks for you to do for him. So those are like opportunity. And then also your internship is also an opportunity for you to like gain like research experience depending on the kind of companies that you work. So I think your final year project, your internship, and then like trying to like meet a professor one on one and telling him like what you want and then how they can help you. Those are like the takeaways that I think you can such experience.
thank you so much for that response. So the next question is to all the speakers. And Yusuf is asking, when is the ideal time to start preparing as an undergraduate?
Can I respond to that?
Yeah, please.
Yeah, I think the ideal time my it's probably maybe it's like a qualitative question, maybe subjective, but generally I would think if you are in a 4 year program, as soon as you are getting to 300 level, those are the questions you need to start asking yourself. What do you want to do with yourself after school, 1 year, 2 years after school? And if you are in a 5 year program also. So yeah, that you really need to start early because the things you need really, I mean, talking about those international scholarships, we've talked about how crazily competitive they are. So you really need a very strong profile in terms of research to just like Professor Agas said, I can say, okay, yeah, I finished with distinction in my master's, but the distinction didn't just getting the distinction. It wasn't just when I got here. It's like something that had started since undergrad. So I was already thinking of what exactly I wanted to do. I knew I wanted to just do a master's, and it was something management. Although at the point I was thinking maybe project management, something, and then a little bit it shifted into entrepreneurship. So I was looking at those kind of things, and then already planning how exactly the kind of online courses I wanted to be doing, professional associations and certifications and things like that I could be doing, which was why I was getting my student membership with Project Management Institute early enough in undergrad. And also, like you mentioned, the research, like I said, is that research that actually helped me also with my master's and getting a distinction. So when we were doing my research in Unilag, so I took it seriously in sense of like I mean, I didn't publish it or anything, but and I wasn't ready to go ahead to publish it also. So it's not like maybe I was all star or like perfect with you understand the difficulty with doing undergrad research, but at least I did in terms of critical thinking, writing, those things, doing I was our supervisor then was making us do research. She can be like maybe just go and research 60 journals on just writing background of the study, Nico. Go and find 60 this thing and from there. So it
Okay.
really built us. And
All right. Thank you. Thank you for that response. Yeah. So we're slowly getting to the end of today's session. Like we can continue this conversation for the whole day, to be honest. I'm sure there'll be so much to talk about. But what I would like for us to attend to all the questions before our time runs out. Uh okay, Mr. Lekan, do you have anything to add to the question?
Yeah,
Or Farouk has pretty much said everything.
just quickly, I think the other part I was going to touch on is um, right now in undergrad, focus on the present, things change. I like to maintain a very flexible mindset. So things change, focus on what you can control right now. What can you control? One is your grade. You can control your grade, that's fine. If at this point in time you can't control your grade anymore, it's okay. There's not just one side to your application, trust me. You can make up for it in your GRE GMAT. But if you can control your grade, just do it. But if not, it's not the end. I know people who do not have the best grades in undergrad and they are doing very well. Like they got like really good scholarship and they got into great schools, both at the MSc, MBA, and PhD level. So I would just say focus on what you can control right now, and again define your goals, what you really want to do, and just work towards it.
Awesome, thank you. I'm sure that's actually encouraging for a lot of people because when you say prepare well, and some people are in their final year and their grades are not looking too impressive, they'll probably get worried. But yeah, Alhamdulillah, thank you for that. So the next question is from Abdul Omeiza. He's saying that I don't know if it's a he or a she, but the person is saying that they've been applying for scholarships, but the response they're getting is that it's not accepted because of, I guess, the competitive nature, and the person has also used their recommendation letter. So the person is asking is probably like, what can they do differently? I guess they probably came in late into this session. Uh Professor Agas, would you just quickly give a response to this person?
Um, I think I'm gonna give like a like like this is like something like that you just have to like that you have to do like with all other aspects of life, even without not just scholarship. Like there's a friend of mine right now also that is in his 50th year of PhD, right? And then he's applying for a job. You understand? So there is a professor that is writing proposals, applying for a grant, right? There is different people everybody basically applies for stuff. You understand? So
Yes.
and then people get rejected. You understand? Like professors apply for proposal from grants from the federal government, they are rejected. People apply for jobs, they apply to Facebook and Amazon, they are rejected. People apply for scholarships, even like BSc. People, there are schools that you apply to BSc, and then you are rejected. You understand? So that's just like a normal thing. And then in all of these situations, the professor, the guy looking for a job, the undergrad students, the high school students, in all of these situations, like what they can do is number one, like the brute force method is to apply more. You understand? Like the guy that applied to like 100, like mathematically, right? The guy that applied to like 100 jobs is has like a higher chance than someone that applied to like 50. And the guy that applied to like 50 had like a higher chance than the guy that got like 5 proposals. You understand? So that's like the brute force method for that. And then also the other one is like to refine your method. Like the more you go, you understand, to refine your method. And then like once you've done like, I don't know, just an hypothetical number, you've done like 10 applications, and then you've you're not successful, then you have to like refine and think, okay, what are the problems, or what are the things that I can change, you understand? And then like there's nothing wrong in like contacting those 10 that rejected you, and then ask, because like I sent ton of emails also to professors, right? And then some of them say they don't have money, or some of them say you're not, you can I have students that are planning to like to leave, but then I'm not sure if I have money yet. And or some of them say you need to like work on these things, you understand? If you have this and this, then maybe I can think of you, understand? So you can contact these people that have rejected, and then get like feedback from them, like, okay, what do you think I can do to like improve my application before I now start applying to like another set of them, you understand? So basically, increasing the number of applications that you have, and then trying to like ensure that you're refining the process as you go. Those are like the two things that will apply for like everybody, whether you're applying for a job, a scholarship, a undergrad, postgrad, and all of that.
All right. Thank you so much for your response. Ibrahim, I think you raised your hands. Feel free to unmute and ask your question.
Yeah, okay. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, though I've already dropped my question in the chat box, but let me just ask here. So, thanks to all of speakers. My question goes to Professor Gas. And I think in recent time now, we've been seeing the trend of people coming from BSc and having a direct PhD. So I don't know if you have any advice you can give. Do you think is ideal for someone to pursue that path, or is better you have a master's before going for PhD? And the second question is, I think Mr. Lekan mentioned something regarding the OPT. I want to know if economics is regarded as a STEM course in the US. And finally, do you think internship during undergraduate studies counts in getting all these big scholarship?
Is that for me?
Yeah,
I think the first
the
part,
first one is
the first
So
part
the
is
first
for
part
me.
yeah.
was what? Sorry, I was
Uh,
looking at the chat.
Going through direct PhD and
Oh.
class before going.
Yeah. Like people do it. Like it's um I don't know. It's an option, and then if I think it's an option I can take, then why does I take it? I know a lot of people that have done like direct bachelor's to PhD, and then they came out in flying colors. Because like doing a direct bachelor's to PhD doesn't mean, I think you're gonna, like, averagely they spend like 1 year, 1.5 year longer, because they are not doing the masters, right? But then like they spend like 1 year, 1.5 year, like trying to like take some more classes, as compared to the guy that had like a masters already. and then so it's just like a contract, just like a much more compact form of master's PhD. So I don't think there's anything wrong in it. But then I think but then I would think, these are my personal thoughts, I would think it would be much more difficult. It will be a little, it will be kind of different, or it's kind of difficult. It might be a little bit difficult in the sense that trying to come from a bachelor and then thrown into like PhD in the world, thrown directly into the world of PhD. But then people that I know that have done it, they typically spend like at least a year more than average, and some people have done it within like 4 years, I think, or within like 5 years, I think. So, but then these guys spend like they spend like a year extra because they have to like take some classes also, which they don't have because they didn't do a master's. But then I don't think there's anything special, anything wrong, or anything special, or anything different in it. At the end of the year, you're also going to get a PhD at the end. Did I answer your question?
Yeah.
Yes.
So I think on the other part of the question about the STEM thing, I think you have to. It varies from school to school. So when you're doing your research on the course you want to study, whether economics or finance or whatever, try to research the school, check, send emails to the admissions people, and ask questions. And again, see it as a two-way thing. Even when you get a scholarship, like a fully funded scholarship, whatever course you go for in the US or wherever you go, yeah, also helping the school because they are taking a chance on you. They believe that you're smart. They want to be proud to have you as an alum. So it's like a two-way benefit. And why they are like giving you scholarships to come to your school, they're also like benefiting them by advancing their academic strength, and for them to be proud of you that this person is an alum of our school. So make sure you ask questions, do your DD, ask them questions, send an email that you like to, you have this question, is this STEM OPT, is this considered a STEM program? Make sure you clarify all of that before you go ahead with your application.
Thank you so much. Ibrahim, I hope that they've been able to answer your questions sufficiently.
Yeah, thank you very much.
You're welcome. So another Ibrahim is asking, how can one secure an international internship opportunity by 400 level at FANG, either Microsoft or Google, more particularly? And the person is currently a 300 level undergraduate student of UNILAG.
Yeah, I can take this. So I think for FANG internship from Nigeria, it's a bit tricky. So you have to, I know if you're a software engineer, say you're in the sciences and engineering or whatever, you code or you do something, it might be easier. I know there's Microsoft in Nigeria. I also know there's Google in Nigeria. So that may work. Even if you're not in engineering, you can apply to Google in Nigeria. What you can do is go to LinkedIn, look for people that work in those companies. I think there's now one in Nigeria to some extent. Look for people who work there and try to start to build a relationship with them. You may want to talk to people that are more experienced. So if you look at what you're sending to people who work in this company before you send it out to them. It's just more so like building relationship. In Nigeria, we don't really leverage LinkedIn, but I think there's something you can do on LinkedIn to interact with people that work in those companies in Nigeria. But if your question is to work with a FANG company like a Apple, Amazon in the US or in London from Nigeria, maybe a bit tricky if you're not in the engineering space. I know they like to bring software engineers from Nigeria to like the US or wherever. But if you're not in that field, I would just look for similar, it doesn't have to be FANG. I would look for similar experiences in Nigeria that give you the same experience in ones, because nobody cares whether you've done FANG or you've done a smaller company. They really care about the experience and what you learn. And it's really who you have. It's not about the company you work for. Some people work for great companies, but it really doesn't show in them. So I would prioritize my own learning ability It doesn't have to be. I don't have to start from like the biggest company. But if you get the biggest company, that's good for you. But if not, just try to like seek adjacent experiences that relates to what you want to achieve in life.
Thank you, Mr. Lekan. So I think why in the school. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. What was the question? Sorry.
Oh, okay, awesome. I think my network was fluctuating. I said that Hawa was asking, she's asking you particularly that after getting admission into a school, what are the possibilities of getting financial aid or funding opportunity before the start of the academic semester? And also, what do you think is the best approach to scholarship opportunities? Is it reaching out to professors or making the application to the school?
Okay. Um, Number one is this. Um, Applying to schools costs money, right? So I would want to apply to a school that I know, that I would like to apply to a school that I know that there is like very high probability of me being admitted, right? So if I'm going for a PhD or a master's, a higher chance of me being admitted is if there is someone that is interested in working with me, right? If there is someone that is interested in taking me under his tutelage. So, and then also from my own personal experience, is I think the best method is for you to contact professors. That's the best one that I'm going to apply. So basically, you have a timeline, right? I want to apply by December 15th by December 15th of 2023, right? So that means that I need to have done my GRE or my GMAT, whatever it is, um like November, right? And then that means I need to have gotten my transcripts or so if I want to get my GRE in November, that means I need to like start preparing August or July or September or whatever it is, right? Then I need to get my transcripts before. So basically, I can walk back and know when I need to like get all the things I need. So once I have those things, then I can now start sending emails to professors that summarize everything about me. So basically, in this email, I can say my name is this, my GR is this, my research experience is this. I am interested in working in this, blah blah blah. And kindly find attached. Then I attach all my documents, all the documents that I have, my CV, my GRE score, my my transcripts, and my everything, my TOEFL. I attach everything as a document and send to this guy. So basically, the guy from the body of the message, the guy understand everything about me, and then he can also check some document to confirm whatever it is I've said. You understand? So I sent that. So that was what I did. I sent that to like tons of voice, and then I had like a journal. I had like a table that says the professor's name, their email, their phone number, the date that I sent an email to him, and then whatever was the remark or whatever was the response that the guy said. You understand? I had like a table that was keeping note of that. And then if I send an email to this professor and he doesn't respond, then I send a follow-up email to him. And then sometimes I even call them. If I have their phone number, I call them and then I tell them I send an email and then they'll be like, oh, I didn't see it, or I saw it, or they'll say reply to the message and say that you spoke to me on the phone, blah blah blah, and all of that. So different kind of response. So that'll be the best method that I think you can to like get funding and all. And then someone was saying, how do you get in the chat? Someone is saying, how do we get to meet professors to work with? Go to the schools, go to the website of the schools. Like what I did, I went to qs.com, which is like a school, which is like a website that ranks university, right? So I went to qs.com and then I started from number 1, I think, which was like Harvard or MIT, I don't know. Then number 2, MIT, then number 3, Yale, number 4, Cornell or something, I don't know. So I went to the website of these schools of like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, like that. And then I go to the website, I check the engineering, I go to civil engineering. If there's a professor that is like working in something that I'm interested in it, then that's someone that I want to contact. Then I go to the next school, then I go to the number 3, then I go to number 4, then I go to number 6. So that's where you can go to the website, check their department, and see if there's someone working on what you're interested in.
All right, thank you so very much. Do we have any last minute questions before we round up? Okay, so Abdul Omeza, the slides are not valuable to you because they are just questions, but make sure to follow us on our social media so that you get a summary of today's session. You get more information on how you can get access to the recording, because I see that somebody is also asking that, Ibrahim. Ensure you follow us, and when this session is up on YouTube, we'll share the link so that you're able to access it. Okay. Professor Agas, how are you saying you didn't answer the first part of our question, which is that the person has gotten admission to the school, but I guess the person doesn't have financial aid or funding. So she's asking that what are the possibilities of getting financial aid or funding before the start of the academic semester?
Yeah, like you so like I also got like some admission. So it depends. Like some schools, the admission and their funding come together. Like you don't have to make a separate application for funding, and then in some schools you have to make that like differently. You understand? So if you have been admitted already, then what I did in that situation was to send emails. But then now in the subject of the email, I wrote admitted, but I wrote something along the line of admitted but looking for funding or looking for something. You understand? So the guy knows that I have been admitted. You understand? Not just like or like before, whereby it was like PhD intention or PhD something. You understand? So that was like the different thing that I did when I was admitted, but then I wasn't funded yet. And then another thing is to look at like the graduate college. So the graduate college usually have like a number of information about like grad school fellowship or grad school funding or grad school work that you can do. You understand? And then you can get some money from there also. And then also some department also have fellowship. So if I've been admitted, then I have to like go into like the website of the school, the website of the department, and then like make it like a thorough search on like all the funding. And then also the graduate coordinator, which is like the guy that is like in charge of admission, blah blah blah. You can contact this person. Okay, thank you, I've been admitted. Good news. But then are there other funding? Are there good are there other funding opportunities for me that I can use to like pay for my tuition and all. So that's what I will advise that person does. And then I can see a question directed at me at the chat that says, with everything you know now, is there anything you'll have done differently in your application process? Is there anything I've done differently? Yeah, definitely. Like number one is, since if I know that I'm going to end up doing a PhD, right, I will have started like trying to like gain like much more research experience. I like started to like develop my research experience skills, my writing skills also. Like when I came here, I had to like buy 2 books actually. that were on writing. I had to like buy 2 books that talk about like English language and like how to write, how to do this. I will have done those 2, because like a PhD like here, I'm speaking physically of like UIUC civil engineering. It is very, very tough. It is like very, very, very tough. And then so I it's unfair, but then I would say that I think like the one thing that made me be accepted here was my GRE score. Like that was like my, oh well, I won't say it's unfair, because like everybody else also have like the one thing that made them like stand out. You understand? So I don't think it's unfair. I don't think it's unfair. But then like if you have this kind of research experience, if you have this kind of like if you have like a very, very good background, then it's much more easier for you. You understand? So those are like the 2 things that I would say that I would have done differently.
All right. Thank you so much, everybody. Uh, Let me do my thank you to all our speakers. May Allah reward you abundantly. Thank you for taking the time to really give us all the info we need for graduate school and how to navigate that. May Allah reward you. May Allah increase you in knowledge and understanding. Amen. Daddy, would you like to round up for us so that we can call it a day?
Yes, I would like to say a very big thank you, actually, because it's been well said. I think we are very fortunate, very, very fortunate to have our panelists today, starting with our prof, AbdulGafar Sulaiman. Jazakumullah khairan. Very good to meet you. It's been a wonderful session, very enriched, very rewarding. I'm sure you will answer our call when we call you next time.
Yep, definitely.
Yeah, in NGM, we actually have a team, a special team called the Academic Excellence Team, and their own goal is to promote academic excellence within the community. We are actually looking forward to replicating your achievement, your performance within the community. I mean, that's your GRE score is amazing. I hope we'll see more of it. And you have to join us in doing this so that we can replicate more of you in the community and the woman in general. Thank you so much. Lekan, Wahab, thank you for joining us. We thank you so much. May Allah reward you abundantly. And of course, our own Farouk Shittu, yes. We are proud of you that one of our own, Farouk, started as a mentee before he went for his master's. And you can see we are happy that you are also one of the best that we can call upon when we are having this type of session. May Allah continue to uplift you. Thank you so much. And to everyone that have attended, thank you. May Allah take it as an act of ibadah. And to the team, to our team head, Yusuf Olani, thank you for giving us, thanks to you and your team for giving us this wonderful session. And to our moderator, our special and excellent moderator, Nusaiba, we thank you so much. Well done. Good job, Nusaiba.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Thank you, Daddy.
We are indeed proud of you. So thanks, everyone. Many thanks to everyone, and looking forward to seeing you all in our next session. Thank you.
Yes. Assalamu alaikum, everybody. Bye-bye.